Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Good morning, everybody.
I am Stephen Bonigar. Hey.
Alrighty, well, this is the last one of these that we're doing in September in this quick and slow year at the same time. Lots of different things going, but we're going to make this a happy occasion by starting with a worldwide contest. This episode is sponsored by Shaolia Great Houses, which is actually a game that Mike and I have both played and enjoyed, and Mike and Roy and I all played this one. A lot of fun. So the game is back up on Kickstarter. You can see a link in the description below, along with an expansion. So we have a contest for 2 people. Worldwide can win this. All you have to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, just put GREAT, G-R-E-A-T, and in the and then in the body, you need to answer the question: what is the last sentence of the narration in the Kickstarter trailer? That's a good question, actually. So what's the last sentence of the narration in the Kickstarter trailer? And, actually, I'm sorry, you're supposed to put Shaolia in the subject line, S-H-A-O-L-I-A. Maybe I should read my notes here. The contest is open until September 30th this year, and it's 1 entry per household. We've had some people trying to get around that. We can see when you do that sort of thing. Alrighty. Well, that's our contest. It's a nice day here, although we just found out that it's going to rain on Saturday, which is a little concerning because we're supposed to be helping Roy move to his new house. So,
Roy's you're helping Roy move to his new house.
Yeah.
He didn't ask me. He didn't ask me. So
he wanted strong people.
Well, I'm glad I'm not around. I love Roy, but I don't want to move people.
No one wants to move anyone, but some people are generous friends. Just
so
cold. You're the one who said it. I wouldn't have said anything. I would have said something to the effect of, I wish I could be there.
I can't be there. I'm in a different location today. I can't be there.
Too late. Yeah, we know. Go wash your hair. All righty, let's get started. We got some contributors, and then we'll be back with the news.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're talking about Zoom in Barcelona. This is a game all about photography, zooming around the board and zooming in to take photos all throughout Barcelona. Features a ton of different cool architectures and landscapes all throughout the city, and it is a lot of fun.
So before we talk about this game, Ryan and I like to talk about things that we're trying to do to achieve better health in our lives. And right now, I would just like your favorite tips of your mental health. What's something that you do to make sure that you are taking care of yourself in a mental health aspect? I just would really enjoy your tips right now. One of the things that I do a lot and I talk about is I really like being outside. Being outside is awesome for me, and I just like it. And speaking about being outside, you gotta be outside to take all these pictures.
Heck yeah. All right, so one of the cool mechanisms of this game is as the sun moves throughout the sky, it reflects off these different architecture pieces differently, and so you have to be at these certain places of the day, to get the best pictures of that particular landscape or whatever it is. So you have to travel throughout the board, collecting all these photos, but also you have to be in these certain places at certain times, in certain orders. I just thought that was a cool mechanism.
Yeah, and what I like about that is that it really encourages you to really explore the entire board. It's not like you can play the whole game in one area and then win. If you don't go to all these places, there's no way you can win. So I like that it opens the board up, makes you kind of go everywhere in order to have a chance of winning.
This game is extremely accessible. You can play it with gamers or non-gamers, but that doesn't mean that it's just like a beginner game. It still has tons of really cool choices, and it looks fantastic on the board. We really enjoyed Zoom in Barcelona.
If you'd like to hear more from Ryan and I, you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Everybody, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany, hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye everybody.
Guys.
The 19th century, Britain, France, the Netherlands, Portugal, they all had it nice and cushy in Europe. They had all the stuff, and then, close to the late 19th century, Germany and Italy decided to be born. And they're like, well, we want stuff too. And France said, no. And England said, what? And Belgium said, Koala, koala. And then Italy said, Macaron, hey. And then Germany said, and then some little guy from the Kingdom of Serbia goes to the royal parade where the Archduke Franz Ferdinand is there. And, well, he decides to shoot him. World War I. You know, we can tackle all of World War I from 1914 to 1918, but that's too big of a scope. So, we're just going to focus on the Serbian side. And World War I, a new level of strategic gaming. My friend Vukashin called me, you know where? From Serbia! Because his grandfather was in this battle! So, he made a game. Easy game, deep game, great game. It changed the world. World War I, March on Adrina. It's easy. Look, these soldiers, the infantry cost 2 to move, 2 to attack, defense value 3, and price 6. That's what it cost. Yeah, this currency, you gotta pay them. Money makes the world go round, the world go round. 3 types of pawns in this game. Artillery, infantry, and cavalry. And yeah, they got different stats, and you gotta pay them. People need to eat. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. This is a Kickstarter, and it happens September 22nd. You're lucky. And you know what one of the pledges are? That if you pledge, your face is gonna be on one of those things. Cavalry, infantry, or, well, not artillery. This is a card-assisted game where you have generals and general cards where you can up the ante against your opponent, but he can do the same thing too. Plus, there are luck cards, which probably signify the fog of war element. You know, sometimes stuff happens, man, you know, like, oh, look how stupid he looks, he's got a skull on his head. Yeah, you tell him that. No matter how stupid he looks, he's not your little kid where you're gonna beat him up. This guy, he'll take over your country. Yeah, because he's a gross general field marshal. That's why. And that's the type of stuff you're gonna have in this game. All the countries that are belligerents, meaning that you're fighting against, will all have these generals and all that command huge power, but in an easy going way. Great map, great game, introductory game, great components. Hey, take a look.
Happy breakfast, everyone. Today I'm here to talk to you about Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. So this is the new small box or mini box version. So it plays in around 15 minutes, but otherwise it's got all the normal fun. So you've got the idea of collecting sets of coloured cards, trading them in to claim routes and getting points for things. So what's the twist on this one? Well, there's merchandise cards. Some of the routes mostly around the edge, not sort of the congested middle, have carts on them. If you claim one of those routes, you get a merchandise card. At the end of the game, as long as you've got one or some, whoever's got the most is going to get 8 points, and then you'll get less points if you're second, third for having the most. It's a nice addition. I think it's something to aim for. It's not too many points awarded for that it means doing routes is pointless. At the same time, there's enough points on offer to be competition. Now, I think for me, maybe because I'm from the UK and live near London, playing the Ticket to Ride London small box game, I think is maybe just a little bit better. Although the tweaks, the bonus scoring on both, I do like. I do think, however, the Amsterdam map is better than the New York one. I just think that was too simple after playing so many of the other map variants. So for me, it's Ticket to Ride New York, then Amsterdam, and then London. But very much have enjoyed playing Ticket to Ride Amsterdam, and I'm Oliver East signing out.
Alrighty, folks, let's take a look at the news, and there is a lot of news this week indeed. Hero Quest is back. If you have Facebook, you know this because I believe every post on Facebook is now required to have the word Hero Quest in it.
That is correct.
At least a good chunk of mine did. So they had a countdown on the Hasbro website about HeroQuest, and everyone speculated as to what it would be. Some people said that they would just basically be doing a straight reprint. Those people came the closest. So they are, kickstarting is the wrong word because they're not using Kickstarter.
Crowdfunding.
They're crowdfunding it through their own, in my opinion, lesser quality usage website. But what they're doing is they are essentially reprinting the game. There are some changes. They changed one of the 4 male characters to female, but if you back it, you also get the 4 gender swapped characters. So you'll get a female and 3 males of versions. And they changed all the furniture, which was initially cardboard, and now it's just plastic miniatures. It's going for a whopping $100. It's only to US and Canada. You can get both. There's 2 expansions for another $150. And their shipping is crazy on it. So I went and tested it.
$30, yeah.
I backed it as a pretend thing because I haven't decided if I want to do it yet or not. And it cost, if I did the $150, it was 30 some bucks for shipping plus another 12 to 15 taxes. So it's essentially $200. If you're in Canada, shipping is $135.
Well, shipping aside, because shipping is shipping, and they're definitely putting it at the high end.
I'm not backing it if I was in Canada.
Because obviously this is big news, because this game has cult status for various reasons, mostly because people have a nostalgia factor, right? Sentimentality for this game from when they were young, and it got them into gaming for a lot of people. But and I will say on the plus side, I think it looks great. I mean, it looks really great. The artwork looks great. The miniatures look great. Much. I mean, that funny guy who does that HeroQuest video. Do you ever see that video? He talks about the miniatures. Love that guy. He talks about the miniatures, but the miniatures here really are high quality, modern miniatures. The furniture looks great. The artwork on the cards look great. That's the plus side. But on the minus side, there's not a single, from what I can see, single thing changed. So you have to ask yourself, is HeroQuest a good game in modern times? That's the debate, and I think that falls short of a yes.
Sure, it's nostalgia that's selling this. I looked it up right now as of us doing this. It's been up for over a day. It's at 1.2 million, so it's going to fund. They wanted 1 million. There's 43 days. It will probably hit 4 to 5 million.
Sure, absolutely will.
So that's nostalgia getting it. And I don't want to rain on people's parades.
No.
My 2 concerns are what you said. They didn't change anything, and I thought a few tweaks at least. And secondly, what you get in here for the money value is not comparable to most Kickstarters. If Kamon had done the same thing, you would get probably twice the amount of stuff that this box has.
Yeah, I'm not complaining on the price. I'm not going to crap on the price. I think the price is not that far off. Sure, Kamon, Simon would have done a little more with the stuff.
But is it worth that much money for the simplicity of the game?
Right.
Like, am I going to pay $100 for a really? I mean, folks, it's a really simple dungeon crawler.
Doesn't get more simple. It's almost like, I think the way that I would position this is that if you've got children, this is a great game to kind of have a family gaming.
I don't disagree. I think so too. I just don't know. I'm paying $100 for plus shipping for a game with my children. That's again. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to get it. I'm waffling on it.
And maybe and you had played it when you were a kid with your dad, kind of thing. So the whole package together to me seems to work that way. P.S. I backed it just because. So I just want so I did. I'm gonna think about, do I really want to, because I just want to make sure that I got it, and we'll see. But it's interesting.
All right.
This seems like it seems like a bit of a missed opportunity. You know what I mean? It feels. We were talking yesterday. We were looking at Kickstarters yesterday, and I think it was Mike who at one point brought up the word lazy. This feels a little lazy. This could have easily been handled the way previous games have been handled that are classics, where they give you the classic and they give you a modernized version of that classic.
Absolutely.
You please people looking just straight for nostalgia. You also say, hey, we care about this product enough to update it, to modernize it, to give you something a little more streamlined, right? A little, just up to higher standards. So just pressing the reprint button on this just feels a little lazy.
It was lazy. I agree with that.
Alrighty, well, in similar news, Avalon Hill's brand management, and I believe this game is falling under the Avalon Hill brand.
It does.
That has moved from Wizards of the Coast back to Hasbro. So way back when Avalon Hill was initially bought by Hasbro, they had their own kind of organization that was running that group. The designers, I talked to Rob Davy and other people who were working there at the time. And so the games that came from Wizards of the Coast, the games that came from Avalon Hill, the games that came from Hasbro, there wasn't necessarily a strong communication between all of them. So you might see some differences. And then Avalon Hill got moved to underneath Wizards of the Coast. But now it's back under Hasbro.
I believe that these two things are related on some level. They announced the brand management of Avalon Hill moving to Hasbro first about a week or two ago, and then of course they announced that Hero Quest is coming out and Hasbro's managing it, and Hasbro's managing it under their crowdfunding site and things like that. I have a feeling that they were related in that regard.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing overall because Wizards of the Coast puts all their effort into two things: Magic and D&D, right? And so this is not the stuff from from Avalon Hill, the Axis and Allies stuff. That's just not going to fall under their purview, I think.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a good thing that this is working with the bigger side of the house, the more mass side of the house. I do like some of the stuff that Avalon Hill has come out with, like, the betrayal stuff that they keep coming out with. I love that kind of stuff. I just hope they come out with some more interesting things. Who knows? But under the Hasbro management.
Well, speaking of interesting things, this is a side piece of news, but Walmart is starting to do drone delivery tests, and and the FAA has finally given Amazon that drone permit. I swear, as soon as drones are in Miami, I'm going to order something just to watch a drone come in.
I said on Board Games Insider, I said I literally will sit in my driveway and order like a 3-ounce hand sanitizer or something. So it'll come over and pop it into my driveway. And then I got to get a board game dropped onto my lap in my driveway. I mean, I think that would just be the funniest thing.
I'm still wondering how they're going to deal with animals and stupid humans and all that stuff. Like, there's an Amazon drone. It's not going in my yard, Susan.
Maybe they'll be weaponized to defend themselves.
I think I saw an episode of this on Black Mirror.
They're getting these drones from the Department of Defense. They have missiles on them.
Yeah, cloaking technology. If that fails, they have armament. Yeah.
In other interesting and fascinating news, the world's first board game vending machine has showed up in Singapore.
Now you're talking.
This is one of those things. If I saw it, I would sit there and go, "Okay, what's the best looking game in here?" Because I will buy something from this.
You have to
just to see it work.
And I would film it, right? Film it as you take you put your money in there and get the game.
The problem I have with this picture is I cannot tell what the games are. It says they're like learning activity games and educational. I'm like, but I just can't tell what they are.
These games, it's probably the thing, but
I think I can tell what one of those is to the top there. Dream Catchers is the top, the big one at the top.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cooperative game with little kids having dreams, and you're trying to have them get through the night without nightmares waking them up. I've played it. I think I reviewed it. Yeah, I would not call that an educational game. It's a family game, maybe even a kid's game, but it's not educational. Yeah, this is neat. Shake Up is one of the things in there, Tom.
Ooh. All right.
This looks like normal board games.
I would buy one even if I already had the board game just to see it work.
I'm telling you, yes.
Next time I'm in Singapore, I'll definitely going to visit this machine.
Okay. All righty. Now, this is Kickstarter news, but it's big enough that we're going to talk about it. So yesterday, the backers of Trudevang Legends, which is a game from Command, which I believe funded in 19, maybe. It was supposed to be delivered this year.
Yes.
This is a big storytelling game. And they said in this very long update, they essentially said, hey, the game isn't good enough. We're not happy with the gameplay. We're going to be rebooting it. We're going to be redoing it. We're going to do the whole thing over. And so you're looking at probably a 1-year delay, which is probably 18 months. But, well, I mean, usually, I mean, we're not surprised right now. There's Kickstarters being delayed all over the place. And it's there's good reasons for that, right? There's been logistical delays. The virus has just messed up everything across the board. But this has nothing to do with that. This is a year delay. And if you back the game, you're getting a different game than you backed. Well, that may be a good thing. The backers, I went and read the comments because, well, just want to watch the fire burn, I guess. And I would say they're about 50-50. 50% of them are like, well, good. We're glad that you have the courage to remake the game. And the other 50% were like, burn and give me my money back. So.
Right. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's
now, go ahead.
It's kind of, I mean, I totally understand both of those arguments, to be honest. I don't have the patience for most Kickstarters. So if something I was waiting for suddenly told me, oh yeah, whatever we said originally, add a year or 18 months to that would be problematic for me. But I also don't want a garbage game sooner, right? But it just seems strange that it took them this long to get to the realization that, hey, this game's not so good.
I guess that's my concern. Shouldn't the game have been done by the time the Kickstarter launched? Like the game design.
So let me give you the conspiracy theorist version of this whole story. Now, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, though.
Hold on, let me stir the Kool-Aid. Go ahead.
I got the popcorn.
Get the popcorn. So it's been widely reported that Simon, sorry, Tom, has had difficulties in their auditing of their books, their external auditing. They're a publicly traded company on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and their audit did not go well. And they were noted as having a going concern issue, which in the words alone means that the auditor did not believe that in a year from that time, they would still be a going concern. They would still be in business. They were going to go bankrupt. But there are very likely other reasons why that was, and Simon pointed out that Kickstarter revenue recognition wasn't being dealt with correctly by these auditors, so they got another audit team, actually reported on very recently, within the last few weeks. So on the conspiracy theorist side, one might say that they can't afford to do this game right now, so they're delaying it. From the recent things that I've seen, from they've had several very good Kickstarters this year. They've done very well. It looks like they should be fine, but I don't know all of their numbers on their books. So I'm not saying that this relates to that, but it certainly could. Don't know. I like the team that they're bringing in to fix this. They're
bringing in the War of the Ring. You love that.
Yeah, the guys they're bringing in, Nepatello and Magi, these guys did War of the Ring, like my favorite game in the world. So these guys have got really great cred. So I'm real happy about that. So let's see. I mean, I'm just very interested in the whole, since they're publicly traded. I'm very interested in everything I hear about Simon and their finances, and I'm on top of that very closely.
You own some stock?
I do not own any stock, and I'm kind of happy because if I did, I would not be able to trade it. It would be very tenuous at the moment, right? It's a very inexpensive stock to own, though, if you did want to own it.
Very interesting.
All right, now we got a couple pieces of smaller news. We have, one of them's literally smaller news, but first we have the fourth game in the Silver Line, Silver Dagger. as Ted Alspach does something he's never done before, which is milk a property into the ground.
You
So
are a cruel man, Tom. A cruel man.
look, I like the games from Bezier, but he definitely does take a game. And how many one night ultimates are there, and how many
I'm
versions
surprised
of
there's
Werewolf?
no. I know that there is some crossover. I'm just surprised there is no crossover in name yet, because he's got silver bullet, silver coin, now silver dagger. I'm assuming next is silver werewolf, and then next will be one night silver werewolf, and then ultimately one night silver werewolf 1 week edition
in suburbia. So anyway, I know that this game is obviously very popular, so people keep playing it. So there you have it.
Yeah, it's very
In
popular.
other small news, the Wasp Hero Pack is coming out for Marvel Champions. And she's going to have the same thing like the Ant-Man expansion where the cards will have giant and tiny versions. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
The Transformers game did that, so I think it's a neat thing that they're doing it here too.
Nice.
Very nice. Very, very beautiful. This game is great.
USAopoly has a new expansion for its very popular deck-building game, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. This is the second expansion for the game. It's Charms and Potions. I believe we're playing this one live here on the Dice Tower in a week, or I don't remember. We're playing it at some point. I think it's during our Essen playthroughs and such. So you'll have a chance to see it then.
Hey, that Jenny Weasley card there that we can see. I mean, she looks demonic. I don't know. Is that the way the actress looks right now?
A bad picture. You're right. She looks either demonic or on a hangover.
I guess they're all adults now. So
yeah, like I'm not really zoomed in, and she kind of looks like she has like a little Joker makeup on her eyebrows. Like they look pointy in the center.
I'm sure it's just bad lighting. Okay.
A little worried about this poor young lady.
I need to read this book again because I missed something.
I think there was a section in there where they all went out for a bender.
All right, it's time for our Glum Maven news. Today, there's a Glum Maven comic book coming out called Fallen Lion. This is one of the weird things to me that comic books and books based on board games, for some reason, I have zero interest in them. I'm glad they exist, but...
Tom, technically, so does everybody else, but they come with like one free thing that people have to have. Do you think I read those Arkham Horror novellas? I do not. I just need that extra character.
You need the card, thing that they stuffed in there. You have to have that thing.
Yeah. Are you kidding? This comic could be half blank and no one would care.
It's got one picture. No, on the flip side of that, Tom, and I agree. I'm not a comic.
That's a personal thing. I don't say that they're bad.
Right, and I'm not a comic person. I literally I could no. I can count on one hand the number of comic books that I've read, but I'm a huge fan of the comic genre. I've learned it all through animation and movies. I know as much as almost anybody based on all of that. Okay, so take it easy. I just don't. And a buddy of mine he's got the biggest comic book collection of any human being. So anytime I want to talk about comics, I talk to him. Anyway, all that being said, I love Gloomhaven so much, and I talk about it a lot. And Gloomhaven is so dripping with theme, and the characters come alive so much. And I use the app that gives you the narration with the professional voice actors. I almost want to read a little bit of this and see more about the Sleeping Lion. So
I almost want to read a book.
I almost want to read a book and maybe I'll get another card for the game or something. So good. Yes, I'm gonna buy it just because. There you go.
Okay. Well, I think we all will. All right. Stefan Feld has a new game coming out from Pegasus called Bonfire, and it looks like he's back with his big point salad style games. It's been a while since I've seen a big Feld game. So
this looks really nice. I like the look of this board. I like what I'm seeing here.
I agree. This looks cool.
Very, very, very popping island-like primary color art. Very, it's intriguing to see. So I have no idea what this game is about besides that look.
I like that it's that the central focus or the central hue, I should say, is blue as opposed to brown, some other shade of brown. It's tan or brown, right? That's every Euro game from him. So this is nice. Set it on the water every now and then, my man. Come on.
Here we go.
All right. Cup of Noodles has their own new game. It's a Yahtzee game. And it comes in a cup of noodle package, which means every college student is going to buy this by accident.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Yahtzee's Yahtzee. I don't normally care for owning Yahtzee, but this is the most tempted I've ever been to buy Yahtzee.
I do
neat
like
looking, man.
The motif of this is really good.
I'm gonna grab that thing. I'm gonna make some ramen. I'm gonna put it in there, and I'm gonna eat out of it with my chopsticks. I think this is great.
All right.
That's disgusting. It's a game. What?
It's a plastic cup. I can use it to put my ramen in. Heck with you.
Why would you just not use the cup the ramen came in?
Yeah, but that's not as fun as using the game cup. Come on.
We go over to Steve's house.
I don't think Steven understands what this is.
I'm not touching that cup.
I'm buying 2 of these, and I'm going to serve you ramen in those cups. There you go.
All right. World Changers is a new game coming from Korea Board Games. This is from Japanese designer Theki. You're a captain of an interstellar spaceship, and you got to get a crew to live on a new planet, and you can recruit anybody through the whole human history. So you have to pick the best team of people. That's kind of a fascinating subject, right? Like if you're going to start a new civilization and you can pick different people through history, who do you pick? I love that theme.
I love the theme. The box doesn't show me that theme at all, but I love the idea of what that's saying. So who do you have here? You have Martin on the cover. Martin Luther King. You have Cleopatra and Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc,
I think. Right.
Very interesting. Yeah, the theme is fantastic. 32 historical figures. Oh boy! Obviously we got to see how each one obviously brings its pros and cons, and to bring the team together, you have to achieve certain things. It should be very interesting.
It's very fascinating sounding. I'd love to try it.
Another cool theme is Macaron from Sunrise Tornado Game Studio. This one here is a trick-taking game. I love these things. I still remember that mistake I made when we were in Paris. Me and Z stopped at the airport, and so I bought a big box of macarons for me and Z to share, and I was going to give the rest to my kids. And so Z ate one. And my kids got none.
They're too expensive. I felt terrible.
I felt terrible too.
I basically I nursed one macaroon for a while. I was on one I would have a little bit, go for a walk, come back, bite a little bit. Not really, but I did have only one. But yeah, you definitely saved most of the box and gave it to your kids, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
It was a very pretty box it came in, I bet. So the kids got the box that they could then put cookies in or something.
Yeah.
This looks like a fun game. I hope it's good. This next game does not look as exciting. Maybe Anansi. This is from Heidelberg. It's another trick-taking game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe the cards look okay. That cover's not doing it for me.
Yeah, this is a reworked version of this right here. So that's what this is.
You like Eternity.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. So this is a re-theme, slight reworking from what I understand of this one. I like this game in concept, but the new one, I love Eternity. I think it's great. The new one has this sort of mystical theme. They got artists from the locations in which the game is set to do the artwork, which is very nice, lovely, and authentic. Having said all that, I'm not as captivated by the look of it. I'm not really, it's not drawing me in like the cover for Eternity did. It's more vibrant, but that's not enough. And the black bordered cards concern me.
I just realized that I just now, because it's hard to read sort of the name, and when you said it, I didn't get it. Anansi is an African god, spider god. He's in one of the African
That's
religions.
the worst kind of god, dude. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no. So it completely. So what show? American Gods. Did you watch the show American Gods on the?
I read the book, Stephen.
Okay.
Like a cultured person.
Oh, like a cultured person. Very good. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, get him!
Yeah, this is why do I come here to get abused? So yeah. So obviously I'm a little arachnophobic. So the whole concept of Anansi kind of completely freaks me out. But yes, I'm now scared. I'm now looking at the picture and there's a big spider on there. So okay, I'm sure it's wonderful. I don't want to touch the box.
Another game they have that also has a very unique motif is this Coyote. This is another, I think it's another trick-taking game or a bluffing game.
Coyote's just a reprint again of Coyote, Tom. This is the one where you put a card on your head and everybody.
Oh, it's that game.
Yeah, it's that game again. It's just reprinted again with artwork from artists that are a part of the culture that this is representing. You know, that was a big push clearly for these two new titles, which is very lovely. Again, it's nice. I already own a copy somewhere, which I think is great. I love this game. So I'm happy this is coming back because I like it a lot.
So this is like the same as Powwow, for instance, which is absolutely one of my favorite party games on the planet. Love it.
Yes.
8 players. 8 players, you do a little bit of math. Everybody's trying to, on the bluffing is...
You shouldn't play it at the end of a 24-hour marathon, though.
Why?
Because you're sweaty?
Our very first 24-hour marathon, this was one of the last games we played, and everybody was just, like, falling asleep. They're like...
It's true. No, I like it a lot, Steven. I'm right there with you, man. It's one of my favorite party games ever.
I will play with you and any other 6 people anytime. Love Powwow. And
happily play with you, and I get to pick the other 6 people anytime.
Alrighty, now listen to this. That may have got Z excited, but I bet this next one got him even more excited. An expansion for Tobago.
Tobago? I've never heard of it. Oh, Tobago! Woo!
Alright, anyway.
Tobago Volcano.
Volcano.
Isn't
Tobago.
This game like almost a decade old at this point? It's pretty.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
This is one of the farthest things from a game in the expansion I've ever seen. I'm assuming that means they're bringing the game back in print.
I don't know. Apparently, it's still easy to find in Europe, but I don't know. Let me look up when this came out. I want to say...
It's 2009.
Yeah, okay, so 11 years old. I don't know. This is just the expansion. It's not the game with the expansion in it. Like, Tobago's not in that box. It's just the Volcano part.
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird.
Isn't this the game? And I have it. I'm pretty sure I still have it in my collection. Isn't this the game that has like very thick, like 4mm tiles in it and stuff like that?
Yeah, you're thinking about Java.
Really cool.
No? Okay.
Probably Java is what you're thinking of.
Maybe.
All right. Well, either way, I'm pumped about this. I just got a copy of Tobago for the Dice Tower library, so that was good timing all around.
Good timing.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, this is not compatible with that version, so you can't use it.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so Zoc also has Santiba, and so not just scaring us with spiders, let's scare us with a big scorpion on the cover.
Scorpions are nothing. Who cares?
They're really targeting you this year, Tom.
You think scorpions are nothing. We'll remember that. I'll have a box to give you next time you show up here.
Come on. They don't, have the FBI come after you.
This one, I read the description, and I'm not interested, but that's not because necessarily the description sounded okay. Then I saw Leo Calavini's one of the designers, saw him out.
Wow.
He's my one designer where he's made like one game I like.
It's a little rough, Tom. A little rough.
We all have our designers that just don't mesh with us. I'm not saying he's a bad designer. He's just saying a vassal designer.
Got it.
All right.
Too many eyes in it for me.
The Deutscher Spielpreis has been announced. The DSP awards. These are the big German awards that are voted on by gamers, essentially. So if you think the Spiel des Jahres is too light or whatever, not for gamers, this is the one that you want to follow them. And the winner is The Crew.
Which is not all that heavy of a game.
Even these suckers got taken in by The Crew.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm happy for Cosmos. I'm happy for the designer of the crew. That's great that their game is just nuking it from orbit like they are. But even
Just let the
this
wave
award went
overwhelm
to
you,
them.
Garcia. It's an amazing game.
But it doesn't need to win every possible. Are they gonna give it to their favorite kids game? Is also gonna be the crew? Is it gonna win best dexterity game? Is the crew?
Whatever.
No, it needs to win whatever it's eligible for, makes sense for, which is best garbage reprint of the decade. Okay, maybe I went a little too far. I apologize.
All right. Good grief.
Wow.
All right. Ludonova has a game coming out in 2020 called Sumotra from Reiner Knizia. I've been looking at this for a while, trying to figure out which of his old games this is a reprint of. But maybe it's new.
Maybe. I'll tell you what's new, that font.
I hate that
night.
font.
That's a serious font.
That's terrible.
It
It
does
looks good
look
to
like
me.
something, but I can't remember it.
Sudoku. It's based on.
I love the cover
Actually, it
art. It's
reminds me
beautiful.
of that. There was that desert game like Dorcas or Domus or Docus. or-
Docmus.
Docus.
Dorcas.
You're a Dorcas.
I'm putting out a game called Dorcas for sure.
All right. Anyhow, our last piece of news here is there's an expansion coming for Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers. Yes! Great game.
Is this this is not an expansion, right? This is its own game? A roll and write?
Oh, never mind. Maybe I should read the type. There's a roll right. Never mind. My interest just went out the window. Don't care.
All rights are great. You're a hater.
For a second
No.
there, I was,
I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game. My excitement is very different.
yeah, enough with the roll and writes, man. Not every game needs a roll and write version. And for a moment there, I was like, hey, at least I didn't call it Rajas of the Ganges the roll and write. They called it the Dice Charmers. But then I looked closer at the cover, and it does say there in the corner, roll and write. I'm like, oh! Stop.
All right, folks, that was 2 weeks worth of news, which is why it went longer. We'll have less news next week. Well, maybe. We'll see. But let's do some more contributors, and then we'll come back for a game show.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Maria from Girls Game Shelf, and by the time you see this, I will be gone. Well, not actually gone, but this is probably going to be uploaded sometime while I'm in a car crossing the nation as we move from DC to Seattle. I'm super excited, but one of the things that this means is I'm not going to get to bring a huge stack of games with me, as there will be 4 people and an axolotl in the car, and it seems like they want to have a little bit of room. So, what am I going to rely on? We're actually going to bring a handful of 18 card games. These are teeny little games which feature only 18 cards, so they're super small. You can shove them in your purse or your pocket or whatever, and offer just as much gameplay as their larger counterparts. I have a lot of favorites, but today I'm going to give you 3 that are absolutely going to make the cut. First up is Circle the Wagons, which I feel like I missed the boat on and then rediscovered earlier this year as I moved into virtual gaming. It is available in places like Happy Meeple. In this game, there is a circle of cards in which you're trying to collect items to add to your tableau based on whatever the scoring conditions are of each individual game. And they change every single game, making the gameplay a little bit different every time. It does require a little bit more table space than some of the other ones do, but it is a fantastic game, and the variable gameplay means that this one little wallet full of cards will keep you entertained for days. Next up is Kintsugi. This is a pattern matching game that evokes the art of Kintsugi, where you're putting back broken pieces of pottery and putting lines of gold in between them. It's another one of those games that's deceptively thinky because each piece only has a little shard of your pattern on it, but you have to be very careful about the way that you connect the cards. Finally, there's Squire for Hire, which absolutely thrills every little bit of me that likes packing or loot Tetris or anything of that nature. In it, you'll have a particular role, so you're attempting to collect cards of a certain color and make sure that there's not a ton of trash in your bag, which, kind of happens when you are an adventurer. It's another tableau builder, but you'll actually stack and manipulate the cards so that they're on top of or below each other, so it's a little bit more compact. It's also got some of the cutest art in all of board gaming, and I'm absolutely in love with like the little raccoon character and all the little animals. So those are my top 3 18-card games, and you might be watching this video while I'm actually on the road playing these with the kids. If you've got a favorite, drop it in the comments below because I would love to check it out when we finally get to where we're going. Have a fantastic week. Check us out at Girls Game Shelf if you want to see more, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Tableau building in the game refers to the tableau, which is in a game, it's going to be a kind of the area of the table in front of you is your tableau. And you're going to be adding usually cards or tiles to this. And as you are building those cards and tiles, your engine, the tableau, the group of cards or tiles in front of you is going to get stronger. And it's either going to maybe give you more actions throughout the game, it might give you bonuses, it might chain things, and it might ultimately give you points towards the end of the game. A game like Gizmos is a very pure tableau building game. In it, you are collecting these cards to put in front of you, and as you are taking actions and as different phases of the game are being triggered, you are then going to be able to activate the different cards in front of you. Those might chain together and become stronger and pull more things and get more resources, that kind of thing. But a tableau building game is sort of a take on an engine game, but it's individualized, designed for the space in front of you, just for you throughout the game. That's it.
Hello, my name's Dan, this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about Cora Quest! Yes. Cora Quest. Our game, our dungeon crawling game that Cora and I have been designing over lockdown. 5 months? Yeah, it's been about that now, a fair old time. And we designed the game initially, and we played it, didn't we, a few times? Yeah. And there were a few problems with it.
So we made it better. Yeah. We did a bit of playtesting, and this is about the things that we did during playtesting that made it better. So the first thing we're going to talk about in this video is how the dungeon actually looks. Now, initially, we used these tiles, didn't we? Yeah. And they were all right, weren't they? But what did we find wrong with them?
They were a bit hard to make fit together if you got like just that, and couldn't really put a story into them, things like that, really. Yeah. And so we decided to go a slightly different way. And instead of these big tiles, we went for... little cards. Little cards. So here's one. And then during the game, you draw a new card out and put it down. And the other thing we found about having these cards... It's a lot easier to spawn the monsters because before we had a system of rolling dice that didn't really work, but this is a lot easier way of knowing which one you have to spawn and not taking that much time to do it. That's right, yeah. We used to roll a dice to see what monsters would come out in the dungeon, and that was a bit complicated, not very... It didn't actually work. So one of the problems was it came out with very uneven dungeons and things like that, whereas this way we can control what cards are in the deck. And the other thing we can do is insert a story. So throughout this deck, there's all sorts of other cards like this one, this pile of sacks, and then... Where Kevin and Naomi's sat. And a pit trap, and this is where the big bad snake monster appears. So each of these cards has a bit of a story attached to them. And throughout the deck, we kind of split the deck into 4, don't we? Yeah. Make sure they're in the right order, and then they come out periodically throughout the game, and then you read out a bit of text about what happens on that card. Every time that you... This isn't a very good example of a dungeon, because it is very messy. Yeah. It normally looks a lot nicer than that. So that's how the cards work. And do you feel it works better than it did before? I think it really does, because it was a bit hard to put the story into the other ones, wasn't it? It was. And couldn't figure out how to place them, as you said. So there you go. That's some of the stuff we've done to make the game better.
So if you'd like to play the game, then you can now, because you can download it. The print and play things, with all these tiles and things like that.
On corequest.com.
On corequest.com. And you can also...
corequest.com.
and you can also join our Facebook group. So search Facebook for Core Request, and you can join there. So come and join us, that'd be really good. But until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, folks, it's time for the game show between Z and Bonacor.
Must destroy.
Actually, this is a three-way thing, and I think actually the people have a slight advantage here. So if you beat them, you'll overcome the odds. Nobody out there is allowed to look anything up. So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a question, a multiple choice question. I'm going to put a poll up so the people can vote on which answer they think is correct. You both will guess. If you're the only person to get it correctly, you will get 3 points.
3 points.
If you get it correctly and so does one other person, and I'm saying the audience is a person, you both get 1 point. And if all 3 people get it correctly, then whoever's in last place gets a point.
Okay, you're strong with the catch-up mechanism.
That's right.
Basil thinks he's a designer now. Okay, there we go.
No, I don't think that. I am a designer as much as you were a publisher. So here we go.
Yes!
Why do I come here?
Give in to your hate.
All right, so many of you know the game Telestrations. Does anyone know what Telestration was originally called?
Eat poop, you cat.
That's right. Eat poop, you cat. So if you go on Board Game Geek, there's quite a few other alternate names for this. So I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to give you 4. You pick which of these is not an alternate name for Eat Poop, You Cat. So, Birthday Kitten, The Dog is on Fire, Evil Potato Moon, or Don't Cook a Pooping Chicken. So, Birthday Kitten, The Dog is on Fire, Evil Potato Moon, and Don't Cook a Pooping Chicken.
All right. So we should...
So you're going to pick the one of those that you think is not an alternate name, according to Board Game Geek.
I've got one.
Who goes first? Who do we say?
Well, we're going to give it just... Well, actually, we'll
enough
let
time.
the internet go because they are a 30-second delay anyway, so we can start with you all. Besides, they have a very strong winner here. All right, we'll start with Z. What do you think?
I believe the fake name in my many years of travel, I've never heard anyone call it, Don't Cook a Pooping Chicken.
Okay.
In fact, there's nothing wrong with that. Feel free.
Mr. Bonica?
Yes, you should cook pooping chickens. I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna go simple. I'm gonna go Birthday Kitten because it's different than the rest on some level. So maybe that's the one that's not the game.
All righty. Well, this whole game started because I did a search on Board Game Geek for games that had the word chicken in them, and this popped to the top. So the people also picked Don't Cook a Pooping Chicken, and that is incorrect. That is one of the alternate names, as is Birthday Kitten and Evil Potato Moon. The Dog is on Fire is just something I made up on the spot.
It's a good one. So what happens? Nobody gets any points.
No one gets points at all.
Darn.
All right, so then I said, you know what? Let's stick with this animal theme. So I did a search for the word cow. And there are alternate names for games you may have played that are cows, but one of these is not real. So, is it Cow Ominoes, another name for dominoes, Cow Solitaire, like solitaire, Happy Cows, which is an alternate name for Happy Pigs, or Cowopoly, another name for Monopoly. So which of these is not real? If you search it up on Board Game Geek, you won't find Cow Solitaire, Cow Ominoes, Happy Cows, or Cowopoly.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, we're going to start with Mr. Bonagor this time. What do you think?
I do not believe, even with the 1 billion opolies out there, that there is a cowopoly. I'm probably wrong.
Z?
There are several. Spotted cowopoly, brown cowopoly. Yeah, baby.
Angus beef cowopoly.
Yeah. I am going to go with in my extensive travels. I've played a lot of solitaire, but as far as I know, there is no cow solitaire. So I'm going to go with cow solitaire.
People picked, whoops, I'm back to don't eat a pooping chicken. Hang on. The people picked cow solitaire also, Z.
Okay.
Unfortunately for you, there is a version called cow solitaire. Go figure. There's also happy cows and cow ominoes, but there is no cowopoly.
Yes.
Yahoo! 3 points for Mr. Bonacore.
That was 3 points.
There is a farmopoly, but no cowopoly.
I'll be putting that out next week. We need
crowdsourcing that, funding that.
Hang on, I gotta get the next poll ready here. Okay, so let's jump to pigs.
Of course.
These are all real games. I want to know which of these is rated the highest on Board Game Geek. All right, so we have Pop the Pig, Pass the Pigs, Stinky Pig Game, and Love Pigs. I have played 3 of these games.
Stinky Pig. What was the third? Stinky
Pig
Game.
I think Z is supposed to say something first. Give him a...
Pop the Pig. Let me think here. Pass the Pigs. They're all real, right, Tom? That's not the
These
thing.
are
We're
all
just looking
real
for the
games.
highest.
Yes.
The one I know I've heard the most of is Pass the Pigs, which is where you roll the piggy-looking, the dice.
Piggy dice.
Pop the Pig is the one where you stuff his little belly till he drops it.
Indeed.
The other 2, I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm going to assume they're the lower rated ones. But between Pop the Pig and Pass the Pigs, Pass the Pigs is more widespread. I'm going to assume, therefore, it gets more hate on BGG. So I'm going to go with Pop the Pig.
And I am going to absolutely take Pass the Pig because it is popular. It's hugely popular, I think. And I'm not even sure.
BGG, man. People are like, oh, it's popular? Kill it.
It's a drinking game in, like, English pubs and things like that.
Oh, that's Pigopoly you're thinking.
All right.
Pass the Pig. Pigs.
Well, the internet also picked Pass the Pigs by quite a mile. Pass the Pigs. Let's start with the lowest rated one, which is Pop the Pig. It's rated 19,374.
Oh, I thought it was 375. Okay.
Very close. Ranked 19,352. Pass the Pigs. Stinky Pig Game is ranked 18,685. But the highest rated ones of these is Love Pigs, rated 13,580, designed by Angelo Perazzi, who did War Angel. I don't particularly recommend any of these games.
Yeah, that's a pretty low rankings.
Well, that's why I picked it here.
Pass the Pigs is cute when you're just chilling out. It's cute. I like it.
All right, let's jump to horses. So which of these is not a real game? So I looked it up on Board Game Geek.
Love horse.
So there's 5 games here. One of these is not a real game.
Okay.
To Horse Around. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Horse of the Year. Monopoly Horse Lovers Edition. And A Kingdom for a Horse.
Okay, same again. To Horse Around.
To Horse Around. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Yeah. Horse of the Year. A Kingdom for a Horse.
Okay.
I go first.
Me first or Steven?
I think I go first this one.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with To Horse Around because I'm always horsing around, so that's not a game.
All right.
That is a good choice. In my many travels, I've played many horse games. And a couple of these sound fake. That's all get out. But there's only one fake one, right?
There's only one fake one. That is correct.
Horse of the year to horse around does sound fake. The Monopoly one I think I've seen. I'm going to go with Kingdom for a Horse. A Kingdom for a Horse.
Alrighty.
I'm thinking you were trying to be clever and literary by coming up with that. You're a well-read man, Tom.
The internet
has
agreed with Steven and picked to horse around. So, A Kingdom for a Horse, unfortunately, came out in 1998. It was it's designed by Richard Berg and was re-implemented later on by a game called Blood and Roses.
How about that?
I knew
yes,
it only
the Monopoly
by the
one
name
does
Blood
exist.
and
It came
Roses.
out in 2007. Horse of the Year also came out. And Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is a game. There is no game called Two Horse Around. Since the people agreed with Mr. Bonneker, though, they each get 1 point.
When does this catch-up mechanism come into play, man? Let's
Well,
do
if
this.
you had, here's the thing: if you had picked it, you and the people would have each got a point, and he would have got none.
Help me out.
See,
I'm not. What do you mean help you out?
I'm assuming the further I drop behind, the better the catch-up mechanism gets. Like later on, I just have to say, a game with a horse. I'm like, okay, 2 points, right? I mean, come on, help me out. But let's talk about
do the
snakes.
same exact question, but now we're jumping with sheep. Which of these is not an actual game? We have Wake Up Sheeple, Run Sheepy Run, Don't Step on the Sheep, Kill the Sheep, and Sheep Hustler. One of those is not real, and I actually should probably give the poll to people. So we have Wake Up Sheeple, Run Sheepy Run, Don't Step on the Sheep, Kill the Sheep, and Sheep Hustler.
5 of them you have this time. Is that right?
I did. I had 5 last time. But
ones,
Oh, you did? Okay.
it
What was
depends
the-
on how many I find that I want to put in the thing.
What was number 4 there?
Kill the Sheep.
Sheep,
Oh,
yeah.
it's terrible.
I want the fake one to be Wake Up Sheeple, just because I hate that title, and it seems so inside joke. But I'm assuming that's real. Somebody came up with that, and they got designer credit for it somehow. I'm gonna go with the one I assume is fake. Gosh, I don't know. Sheep Hustler just doesn't sound right. I hope it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? A big part of me hopes it really, really doesn't exist. So, Sheep Hustler. But if enough people are interested, I will design this game. Sheep Hustler.
All right, Mr. Bonneker.
Yeah, I'm gonna believe in humanity that we would not actually have someone design a game called Kill the Sheep. I just think
we do that, right?
Yes, but it just doesn't sound nice for the game. Not nice.
The people have chosen Wake Up Sheeple as their thing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Wake Up Sheeple is a game, as is Run Sheepy Run, which is a 1939 game. Kill the Sheep does exist, I'm sorry. Although there is no ratings for it, and it came out in 2000. And also exists Sheep Hustler. Don't Step on the Sheep is the fake game.
Don't step on the sheep. And you came up with that, huh?
I had a different name first, and then I reworded it because it sounded bad. I
don't want to know.
All right, let's jump to ducks.
Ducks, you said?
Yes, these are games you may have heard of, and I just want to know which of these games is ranked the highest.
Okay.
All right, so we have Duck Duck Bruce. We also have Duck Duck Go. We also have Duck Duck Safari. We also have Sitting Ducks Gallery, and then Duck Dealer. These are all actual games. Duck Duck Bruce is a kid's push your luck game. Duck Duck Go is a kid's Robo Rally style game. Sitting Duck Gallery is a take that style game. Duck Dealer is a very complex game from the same people made Rows and Boats. And Duck Duck Safari is a sequel to Duck Duck Go, but just has animal-themed ducks in it.
And we're looking for the highest ranked game?
Yeah, you want to know which one of these is the highest ranked on Board Game Geek. I'll even give you the number of the ranking of the game. It is 3,583.
Oh, thank you. That really is helpful. Appreciate that. I think
Tell me now,
first.
now the name, please, if you want to be really helpful. Is it me first or Steven?
I think it's you. Me? Is it?
I think
I've played all these except for Duck Dealer.
I don't know. It's I'm gonna say it's got to be Duck Dealer.
And I believe it is Sitting Duck Gallery. I think I've played that, and it wasn't bad.
It's a silly game about putting ducks. You have these ducks that are going across in a row, and you're trying to put targets on other people's ducks.
Yes, I played it. It's pretty good.
Well, the people did not agree with you. They only gave that 6 votes. They agree with Z, Duck Dealer. Unfortunately, Duck Dealer is ranked 4,459. Duck Duck Bruce, 4,820. Duck Duck Go, 4,980. And Duck Duck Safari is down at 12,301, making the highest ranked one Sitting Ducks Gallery.
Yes! I played it, and it's wonderful. It's now my favorite game. Replaced War of the Ring.
I was actually really surprised at how highly that one was ranked. All right, 2 questions. There's probably some mathematical way you could win, Z.
No. No!
Let's
Your
start
catch-up mechanism, by the way, hot garbage.
I ran out of farm animals, so I'm jumping to worms. So which one of these is not a real game?
Worm, Bruce.
We have giant freaking worms. Giant sandwich.
Wait. Hold on.
Squirmy wormy, and Monopoly worms. So the 4 games are giant freaking worms, worm sandwich, squirmy wormy, and Monopoly worms.
Which one is not a game?
Which one of those is not a game? According to Board Game Geek, who's always right about these things.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Steven. You're first this time. I'll just say whatever you say because it's going to be right.
Well, the giant freaking worms has got to be real. I don't think Tom would make that up because it's impolite. Monopoly worms. I mean, this one's probably right, but Monopoly worms. The other ones look like they could be things.
That would have been my pick, Monopoly worms. But I don't want to actually follow you. I was kidding around. So I'm gonna go with Squirmy Wormy.
It's got to be a real one. I like that one.
The people chose, along with Mr. Bonacor, Monopoly worms, which, according to Board Game Geek, is a version of Monopoly. It has 2 ratings.
Not one of Hasbro's bigger selling games, apparently.
Well, actually, I pronounced it incorrectly. It's Monopoly Worms, based on the city in Germany.
Wow.
But actually, the game that doesn't exist is Worm Sandwich. Giant freaking worms and squirmy wormy are
Worm
both
Sandwich is not a thing? Oh, that sounds very real. Yeah.
Well, there's a book and a movie that has that thing. All right, last question. We'll double the points for this one.
Of course you will.
I'll quintuple them, so I might be able to win.
Can I know what the score is, just so I can brag?
The score is Mr. Bonco has 7, the people have 1, and Z has 0.
Yes. My reign of terror continues. Go ahead.
All right, so let's go to bears. Which of these bear games is ranked the lowest on Board Game Geek? So first we have Bears vs. Babies. The Bear Went Over the Mountain. Rescue Polar Bears. And Paranoia.
Which one is not
Which one's ranked the lowest?
Ranked
Bears vs.
the
Babies,
lowest.
Bear Went Over the Mountain, Rescue Polar Bears, or Paranoia?
I've heard of all of these except Bear Went Over the Mountain. I'm going to go
bear
with...
went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain.
The bear. I know that song.
Yeah, I'm definitely voting for that one now. All right, that's my call there. Bear Went Over the Mountain is rated in the 10,000 range.
We're going to go with bears versus babies.
All right, the people have chosen Paranoia.
Really?
Paranoia is actually ranked the highest of these.
Yeah, that's pretty new.
15,873 came out in 2015. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The highest is Bear Went Over the Mountain. That's ranked 10,500.
What?
Sorry. That's a game from, it's a web-published children's game from Brian Gothwaite. You can yell at him later. All right. And then Rescue Polar Bears, which was ranked lower than both of those, weirdly enough. But the lowest rated bear game is Bears vs. Babies.
Come on. This is too easy. Too easy.
That gives a final score of 13 points for Bonacor, 0 for Z, and 1 for the people.
Come on, people.
But if it makes you feel better, Z, since Bonacor is crowing in his victory, the other game I almost put on here that was ranked 18,555.
No, don't do it, Tom.
Valley.
Don't do it.
So mean.
That's mean.
So mean.
There
he goes. Bear Valley is phenomenal.
Yes.
Screw you.
And the internet agrees with you. All right, we got 4 contributors, folks, while Bonacor basks in his victory.
Hi everyone, it's Clara, and a few weeks ago I talked about Curse of the Dollhouse, which seemed like a bit of a cheat because I like to talk about board games that I've not played, but that was a brand new game. Most of you haven't played it either, and well, I'm going to do the same thing again this week. Plus I get to talk about one of my favourite ever board games, and that is Alchemists. This is a deduction game, and I just don't hear that many people talking about it. But it's a real shame. It's a beautiful puzzle. You have a whole bunch of different components, and these each have a related chemical component, which is unique for each one. You scan 2 of these in using an app. It was one of the first games to use an app, and that will give you a result. You record that result in your player board, and in doing so, you can figure out, okay, so this blue flower relates to, say, this chemical component. It's a beautiful game, but it takes about 2 hours to play, and it's got quite a lot of rules, and it's not that easy to teach, so it just doesn't hit the table as much as I'd like. Not that I'm getting rid of this, I love this game, but I wish I could play it more often. I recently saw Tom review Search for Planet X, which honestly, it just reminded me of a stripped down version of this. It seemed like it was more streamlined. It was only an hour instead of 2. It looked like there was less options, but it didn't mean that the puzzle was any simpler. It was still this good, strong puzzle at its core. It was just a little bit more streamlined. So I think I'd really enjoy that. Plus, there's not many games that have a kind of science theme, and that one's got an astronomy theme. This one, yeah, it's got wizards, but it's got a kind of chemistry theme with alchemists. So I love the fact that there's that bit of sort of science. I mean, that's my day job, right? It's really cool that I can mix science and board games. Yeah, so I love Alchemist, and I think I'd really enjoy Search for Planet X, but I'm curious what you think. Do let me know in the comments down below. Bye!
Randy and Ellen, we game together.
Can we play now?
Yes.
Hi guys, I am Randy.
I'm Ellen, his wife.
Yes, we are We Game Together, and this big smile on my face is because we're talking about the next 2 games, Euro-style games, in our games that got us into the hobby. First one being Caverna from June 6th of 2015. Pretty heavy addition to the collection that we currently have if you've been following along. Most of the stuff being party-ish and lighter games so far. Ellen, a little overwhelmed, but I think you liked it?
I loved it at first because it had that worker placement going. I didn't even know what that meant, but I just knew it felt right in my heart.
Right.
But I was also super frazzled because there was so much going on. And without the expansion, there's not really a guide or like a focus. So you're just kind of like, here's a game, do stuff. And I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, the expansion that came out recently is one that they said they weren't going to really make, but they ended up making anyway.
Liars.
Which is great. It does have like some starting a race that you can start with. And it does give you a little bit more of a direction ahead, which I think at least that part of the game, it does help.
Yeah, it did. And I played it one more time with that, and I was like, okay, I can do this again.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of plays of this because it was pretty heavy. Ellen wasn't super thrilled with it.
Yeah.
I found a group to play with once or twice, which made it nice, but didn't really get to play this one more until later. But this one is good, especially for a heavier Euro.
And our kids love to play with the pieces.
But this one, Ellen, I'm pretty sure you liked quite a bit. That's Lords of Waterdeep from June 23rd.
I loved this one. It is a very solid worker placement. Like I said, I didn't even really know what that was, but I was like, more of that stuff.
I still think it's one of the best entry-level family weight worker placement games to start people off with.
And it's affordable too, so I never feel bad about recommending it.
Yeah, it's one that somebody can pick up pretty inexpensive. Yeah, and even the expansion's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
You can kind of mash them both together and not be overwhelmed. So if you have at least a little bit of gaming knowledge, you can get new people to play both of them, I think, straight away.
Definitely.
That one I certainly recommend.
Absolutely.
Caverna I definitely recommend, but it's fallen a little farther down the list.
I'm good.
But, All right, guys, thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Maple University. Today we have My City, the game that has been nominated to 2020 Spiel des Jahres Awards and then designed by Rainer Nitzia.
Yes. Very simple tile placement game on the surface, but with a legacy element, which I guess we're not used to seeing in such a simple game. It's a nice mix.
It's not too bad. I'm usually having some issue with rotations, spatial rotations, but this is not too bad. I can always try to grab it and put in my board and then try to place it. We're not gonna do tell you any spoilers here for the campaign for those who haven't played, but you basically open a card and it dictates what piece that you can put on your player board. And
you have to build out from the river. You're essentially trying to cover as much of your board as you can while leaving trees open is one way you get points in the starting game. There's 24 episodes altogether, and they'll each add sort of new and varied ways of scoring points.
Yeah, a very interesting game.
Yeah, it's quite simple. It's got a very roll and write feel to it, because everyone is playing the same card. I'm not used to seeing that outside of the roll and write context. It builds up. You add a lot of stickers onto your board to modify it. And then once you've opened up all the pieces, there is a permanent version that you can play on the back of the board.
Yeah. So that's it. We are on Nippon University YouTube and also on the Dash Hour for How to Play, Pocket Playthrough, and Live Playthrough. See you next time.
And back. Alrighty, folks, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back next week, but there's still more stuff coming. We got videos going up today and tomorrow. We got a lot of live stuff coming up this coming week. Don't forget our contest to win a copy of Shaolia. Look at the very beginning of this episode to see how you can enter that contest. But that's pretty much it. We'll get going here. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
And I'm Stephen Bonacore.
Have fun gaming.